Well, the Indian security establishment is keeping a close watch over Dawood Ibrahim's plans to target the capital, even as recent talks between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Pakistani counterpart Nawaz Sharif signal forward movement in normalizing bilateral relations. The security agency's anxiety over the company is based on an intelligence input that Ibrahim Tiger Memon, the main accused in the 1993 Mumbai serial blasts case, had a meeting with Pakistan's Inter-Services Intelligence in Islamabad at around on the 15th of May to discuss plans to engineer blasts and attack soft targets in Delhi. The attack is said to be designed to test the newly appointed Prime Minister's capacity to tackle terror. Memon is based in Karachi and is part of the vast D Company network in South Asia and Middle East. According to the intelligence input, Memon was tasked with diverting money to India through Delhi and not the usual Mumbai route for targeting the capital. The intelligence lead has been shared at the highest levels with security agencies, and efforts are on to monitor cross-border movement of money through the Hawala or underworld route. Though Pakistan denies sheltering Dawood Ibrahim, there are enough technical inputs with the Indian security establishment to pin the mafia don's location to Karachi. And while the Supreme Court stayed the execution of Yaqub Memon, the lone death row convict in the 1993 Mumbai serial blasts case, Memon's death sentence was earlier upheld by the Apex Court. Recently, President Pranab Mukherjee had rejected his mercy petition. Memon had challenged the President's decision to reject his mercy petition. He had said that the Apex Court had commuted the death sentence of similarly placed convicts to lifetime in other cases. Memon is the younger brother of Mushtaq alias Tiger Memon, the alleged mastermind and main absconding accused. And well, after a wait and after an agitation lasting several decades, today Telangana, the 29th state of India, finally came into being. Well, KCR has been sworn as the first Chief Minister of the newly formed state of Telangana. His cabinet was also sworn in along with his son. The oath was administered by the newly appointed governor of the state, ESL Narasimhan.
భయం గాని పక్షపాతం గాని రాగద్వేషాలు గాని లేకుండా రాజ్యాంగాన్ని శాసనాలను అనుసరించి ప్రజలందరికీ న్యాయం చేకూరుస్తానని దైవసాక్షిగా ప్రమాణం చేస్తున్నాను. నేను కల్వకుంట్ల చంద్రశేఖరరావు అనే నేను తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్ర ముఖ్యమంత్రిగా నా పరిశీలనకు వచ్చిన లేదా నాకు తెలియవచ్చిన ఏ విషయాన్ని నా కర్తవ్యాలను సక్రమంగా నిర్వహించేందుకు అవసరమైన మేరకు తప్ప ప్రత్యక్షంగా గాని పరోక్షంగా గాని ఏ వ్యక్తికి లేదా వ్యక్తులకు తెలియపరచనని లేదా వెల్లడించనని దైవసాక్షిగా ప్రమాణం చేస్తున్నాను.
Well, in fact, Rao took oath in Telugu and later 11 cabinet ministers were sworn in as well. His son K. Tarak Rama Rao and nephew T. Harish Rao were accommodated in the cabinet as well. The other cabinet ministers who were sworn in were Muhammad Mahmood Ali, Dr. Rajaya and Narasimha Reddy, P. Srinivasa Reddy, Itella Rajendra, T. Padma Rao, P. Mahindra Reddy, Jogu Ramanna and Jagadish Reddy. Well, Koppula Ishwar is tipped to be in the cabinet, but he did not make it and is now believed to be in consideration for the post of the Assembly Speaker. Interestingly, no woman MLA was included in the cabinet. Well, after which Rao drove to Gun Park near the Assembly to pay homage to the martyrs of Telangana and then reached the Raj Bhavan to be sworn in. Earlier, it was Governor ESL Narasimhan who was administered oath, as he had to hold additional charge of the newly created state of Telangana.
పదవిని తృణప్రాయంగా విసిరికొట్టి లెక్కలేనన్ని ఉప ఎన్నికలకు తానే కాకుండా తన పార్టీ యోధులను సంసిద్ధం చేసిన తన చిరకాల స్వప్నం తెలంగాణ సాధించి ముఖ్యమంత్రిగా సగర్వంగా ఈ రోజు పదవీ ప్రమాణ స్వీకారం చేశారు.
It was at this parade ground where all the official ceremonies took place. We can see the newly sworn-in chief minister, in fact, carrying out a rally of sorts and waving to all his supporters. Well, let's not forget that at the stroke of midnight, India's 29th state was born. It was a sea of pink in Telangana, where the separate state demand for the erstwhile provinces of the Nizam became a reality after the Congress finally decided to carve Telangana from Andhra Pradesh. Well, central rule had been imposed on the 1st of March after N. Kiran Kumar Reddy resigned as the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. These were the scenes of celebrations, and today all the formalities took place, right from appointing the DG of Telangana Police, who was Anurag Sharma. The Governor ESL Narasimhan has been given the additional charge. He brought in the new Chief Minister. He swore in the new Chief Minister as well, who is K. Chandrasekhar Rao. He is the man who spearheaded the agitation for Telangana in the last several decades. And apart from that, 11 other cabinet ministers were sworn in as well. It is a new beginning for Telangana. It is a new beginning for the country as well. Well, in fact, Narendra Modi took to Twitter to express his happiness. He said, "We welcome Telangana as our 29th state. Telangana will add strength to our development journey in the coming years." He also said Telangana's birth comes after years of struggle and sacrifices by several people. We pay our respects to them today. Congrats to K. Chandrasekhar Rao Guru on taking oath as Telangana's first Chief Minister. My best wishes to people for the state's developmental journey. Centre assures complete support to the people and government of Telangana in taking the state to newer heights of progress. Digvijay Singh, the Congress leader, also took to Twitter and said, "New states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh come into existence. My best wishes to people of both states. I am sure through a healthy competitive spirit and mutual cooperation, both states will grow. Best wishes to KCR and Chandrababu Naidu." Let us also not forget that without Sonia ji and Dr. Manmohan Singh ji, this wouldn't have been possible. They fulfilled the commitment made. Well, gold slid for a fifth straight session today in its longest losing streak since November, as investor sentiment was hurt by stronger global equities and weak physical demand in Asia. The 5-day fall is the metal's longest losing streak since October-November, when it fell for 7 straight days. Gold is often seen as an investment hedge to riskier assets such as equities. Hedge funds and money managers cut their bullish bets in gold futures and options in the latest week to their lowest level in nearly 4 months, according to data from the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. And well, in a horrific accident between a bus and a mini truck, 14 people have been killed. The bus was going to Khwaja Bande Nawaz Dargah when the accident took place. The injured are from Solapur district in Maharashtra. 14 injured have been admitted to a local hospital. 6 of them are believed to be in a critical condition. In fact, all these tourists were heading to Bande Nawaz, and that's when the horrific accident took place. It was a collision between a bus and a mini truck. 14 people have lost their lives, whereas 14 others have been injured. Of the 14 injured, 6 are believed to be in a critical condition. These are the mangled remains of the vehicle that you see in the television screens, and the victims in a horrific state when the police found them. The bus driver, we can see, is stuck in the bus that has toppled and has been quite gravely injured. And well, marathons are catching up in the urban pockets of the country, and now cross-country runs are also gaining popularity as a sport. Here's a report on a cross-country run that left participants wanting for more.
Go! Take a look at these visuals. Groups of people running on a tough terrain. Men, women, youth and even older people sweating it out to emerge victorious. These are visuals from the Coorg Escape cross-country race that was conducted near Chellevara Falls in Coorg's Virajpet Taluk. A 10-kilometer long cross-country run attracted participants from all across the state. Participants had to run through uphill, downhill tracks in the midst of coffee estates and dense forests to seal their spot on the podium. Guess what? The offbeat run also attracted some international participants. Danielle, an Australian living in Bengaluru, went all the way to Coorg to participate in the event. In her view, the terrain was difficult to conquer.
It was a really beautiful run. The first 5 kilometres were really difficult because it was all uphill, and I haven't been able to train uphill because Bangalore doesn't have this kind of terrain, but it was a really great race. It was really great, yeah. It was great having all of the locals cheering us on.
This was the first edition of the cross-country run and it was organized in 3 categories. 270 runners participated in the 10-kilometer long run. That apart, an inter-family race was also conducted in which many Coorgi families participated. The third category was an inter-corporate run in which representatives from many corporate houses battled it out to emerge victorious. The cross-country run was organized to promote responsible tourism. Organizers said that the event will also help them identify runners in Kodagu and also help them in encouraging the sport.
ಇದು ನಡೆಸುವಂತ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಟೂರಿಸಂ ಅನ್ನು ಕೊಡಗಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಈ ಸ್ಪರ್ಧೆ ನಡೆಸೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೊಡಗಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಓಟಗಾರರನ್ನು ನಾವು ಗುರುತಿಸಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಮುಂದೆ ಓಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ವರ್ಷ ಓಡಿ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿ ಮೊದಲು ಸ್ಥಾನ ಪಡೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೇರೆ ಜಾಗಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಸಿಗಬಹುದು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ.
Well, the first edition of the Coorg Escape cross-country race was certainly a big success. The race was a double delight for the participants. The rigorous workout apart, they also got to spend some time in the midst of greenery. Now they are of the hope that more competitions such as this are organized at regular intervals. Manjunath KB for News9 Virajpet.
Well, selfies are the in thing today. Happy, sad or crazy, the country is gripped by the selfie culture. But what we're about to show you can be comfortably termed the best selfie in the world.
There are bathroom selfies, then there are gym selfies, pet selfies, and car selfies. Here is a man who has the world under his feet. This is what we would like to call an adventurous selfie. Meet Lee Thompson, who successfully convinced the Tourism Board of Brazil to let him climb all the way up to the 124-feet Christ the Redeemer in Rio de Janeiro. He took the plunge of climbing the lean steps, and one wrong step would have ended him up on the stretchers. But take a look at where he ended up. None would argue if we call this the world's best selfie. At a time when your legs would be all shaky standing at that height, this man cherished the moment and captured it forever. I think it must be the first selfie from the top of Christ the Redeemer. The climb took 25 minutes. It was extremely hot, eerily quiet and claustrophobic. It was really quite scary. The last bit sees you climbing a tiny, very tight staircase, and if you fall a long way. When I popped my head out of the top, it took my breath away. The view really was incredible. It was the most fun selfie I have taken and one of my favorite photos. Everyone says it is crazy and makes them feel sick just looking at it. Well, he has indeed conquered the world of selfies by coming up with the greatest selfie so far. So what are you waiting for? It's time for you to pick up your cameras and get creative. A News9 report.